invaded in 641, Armenia in 653. Within 20 years, the Persian Empire had collapsed and converted to Islam. The velocity of the conquest was staggering, the ability to adapt extraordinary. Driven by the word of God and divine conquest, the people of the desert constructed navies to wage the holy war by sea, in the dockyards of Egypt and Palestine, with the help of native Christians, and took Cyprus in 648, then defeated a Byzantine fleet at the Battle of the Masts in 655. Finally, in 669, within 40 years of Muhammad's death, the Caliph Muawiyah dispatched a huge amphibious force to strike a knockout blow at Constantinople itself. On the following wind of victory, he had every anticipation of success. To Muawiyah, it was to be the culmination of an ambitious long-term plan, conceived and executed with great care and thoroughness. In 669, Arab armies occupied the Asian shore opposite the city. The following year, a fleet of 400 ships sailed through the Dardanelles and secured a base on the peninsula of Cyzicus, on the south side of the Sea of Marmara. Supplies were stockpiled, dry dock and maintenance facilities created to support a campaign that would last as long as was necessary. Crossing the straits west of the city, Muslims set foot on the shores of Europe for the first time. Here they seized a harbour from which to conduct the siege and mounted large-scale raids around the hinterland of the city. Within Constantinople itself, the defenders sheltered behind their massive walls, while their fleet, docked in the Golden Horn, prepared to launch counterattacks against the enemy. For 5 successive years, between 674 and 678, the Arabs conducted the campaign on a steady pattern. Between spring and autumn each year, they besieged the walls and mounted naval operations in the straits that involved running battles with the Byzantine fleet. Both sides fought with the same types of oared galleys, and largely with the same crews, as the Muslims had access to the seafaring skills of Christians from the conquered Levant. In winter, the Arabs regrouped at their base at Cyzicus, repaired their ships, and prepared to tighten the screw the following year. They were in the siege for the long haul, secure in the belief that victory was inevitable. And then, in 678, the Byzantine fleet made a decisive move. They launched an attack on the Muslim fleet, probably in their base at Cyzicus, at the end of the campaigning season. The details are either unclear or were deliberately suppressed. Spearheaded by a squadron of fast dromons, light, swift-sailing, many-oared galleys. There are no contemporary versions of what happened next, though the details can be deduced from later accounts. As the attack ships closed on their opponents, they unleashed, behind the conventional volley of winged missiles, an extraordinary stream of liquid fire from nozzles mounted high on their prows. Jets of fire burned the surface of the sea between the closing vessels, then caught hold of the enemy ships, falling like a flash of lightning on the faces in front of it. The explosion of flame was accompanied by a noise like thunder. Smoke darkened the sky, and steam and gas suffocated the terrified sailors on the Arab ships. The firestorm seemed to defy the laws of nature. It could be directed sideways or downward in whatever direction the operator wished. Where it touched the surface of the sea, the water ignited. It seemed to have adhesive properties too, sticking to the wooden hulls and masts and proving impossible to extinguish, so that the ships and their crews were rapidly engulfed in a propulsive torrent of fire that seemed like the blast of an angry god. This extraordinary inferno burned the ships of the Arabs and their crews alive. The fleet was destroyed, and the traumatized survivors, having lost many fighting men and received great injury, lifted the siege and sailed home. A winter storm wrecked most of the surviving ships, while the Arab army was ambushed and destroyed on the Asian shore. Discouraged, Muawiyah accepted a 30-year truce on unfavourable terms in 679 and died a broken man the following year. For the first time, the Muslim cause